steal those kills with the Thunder God's Wrath, it just helps you more and more. Undying die in the bot lane, though.
Yeah, nothing too crazy there. Just a dive behind the tower. This is where Clinks hits one of his peaks in terms of power. The maxed out Searing Arrows is very scary in these early levels.
Yeah, 60 physical damage. It's like having a Sacred Relic, basically. It's amazing.
It's incredible. So, not much the Undying could do there, as he is a support. Ketchikimba sees the ensnare, knows there's no way to interrupt the TP. Swindle almost gets there in time with the Searing Chains. Very close call, but Dazzle will live.
He jumped slightly late there, in my opinion. Might have made the difference, but it was a very tough catch anyways.
Yeah.
So
looks like it will be a Vlad's first for the PL, though. He's now gone for the Bassi and the headdress.
It's good against Ember Spirit going into the late game as well, because it just gives your team 5 more armor. It's an extra chainmail that your team will block damage for the Sleight of Fist. And the earlier you get it, the more it helps.
Soloed by Ziz in the mid lane. Again, it was just like the Undying down bottom. Ziz comes behind him, unloads with the strafe, Searing Arrows, and there's nothing the Zeus can do. He's got Arcane Boots Midas. Once you're initiated on in that kind of a forward position, you're completely dead.
And the Midas not paying off there, basically. Like, it gives him some golden regen, but what if you went for the Bloodstone build instead? Kind of similar. It gives you unlimited mana, so you can farm faster, technically, but Smoke Breaking actually here in the jungle. Will they grab Johnny?
Oh, Fly, he gets the surge. They want to try to initiate here. Unfortunate for Complexity, they were not ready for the Undying to break their smoke straight away. Mushi will pick up a smoke of his own. Pardon me, perhaps Fnatic will try some kind of an aggressive play of their own.
Check out these sentries on the map by Fnatic. They absolutely do not want Complexity to have wards in their jungle. They've committed 4 over the last 3 minutes just to make sure. They must have missed a bunch. They eventually found the aggressive one, and they killed them all. They've seen the previous games. Ziz spotting out his opponents, though. There's the Medallion on Johnny. 3-shot. Oh, he stops attacking for a second. There's the Grave as well. At about 200 HP, he's going low. He's going to die for sure here.
Both of them are going down here. Ketchikimba doesn't have much of an exodus. He'll go down first.
Echo.
Big Echo Slam from Ohio on 3, but Complexity are still alive for now. Ziz is dusted up, though. He's on the run. He's not going to make it out as Zeus has the damage to bring him down. A 2-for-2 overall. Swindle Melons just barely surviving. Zeus getting that domination streak from Clinks. So a lot of gold going the way of Mushi off that fight.
Despite his earlier death, he's still in a great place. He'll grab his point booster now, most likely. I think he's going to go Bloodstone. He might need a fast Ghost Scepter or maybe a Yule Scepter to stop the Clinks from solo killing him, but definitely needs to tank up and needs some survivability to stay alive.
Yeah, Mushi's still number 1 on net worth. This seems to be working out. It's easy to underestimate how much damage Zeus does at this stage in the game. Even when Complexity have an advantage, the ulti alone, if you can combo it with anything that the Surfshaker puts out, it is scary. Great Echo from Ohio, though. Beautiful positioning, connecting on 3 heroes. Easier said than done at these early levels when you don't have any mobility tools.
They deward another aggressive ward from Complexity. Like, Fnatic has completely read this, and they just always see where the wards are coming, and they drop sentries.
There are 0 wards on the map right now for Complexity. This is a rough time here.
And it's kind of weird to see the sacrifice. Normally you think, like, wow, they spent so many hundreds of gold on those sentries, but it forces their opponents into bad aggressive positions that result in them dying, and that's only happening because their vision is lacking, so they can't make as good of decisions. It's paying off completely, and it'll eventually translate to more gold for the supports.
Ziz still having a pretty good time, though. Number 2 on net worth, only a few hundred behind that of the Zeus. You mentioned that Medallion pickup. Pretty core on Clinks these days as we see Fnatic smoke around the bottom lane. They're going to try to gank this Clinks here, who's in a very forward position. Do they have detection? Yes, they do. Dust on the Earthshaker and a Sentry on the Dazzle.
They can get this. Zeus will... They see that he's completely by himself. He doesn't think he's being ganked. There's a dust enchant on him. He wasn't watching behind himself. And then that's the one place you don't expect your opponents to come from, that's for sure. From behind you while you're pushing a tower.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they'll just retreat towards the mid lane here. And the Tombstone was deployed for that. So they won't have that for a minute if Complexity try to pressure this tier 1 tower here in the mid lane. Already Naga Siren coming in to cut off the creep wave. Z-Freak is now level 8, so that means Song of the Siren is ready to rock and roll, and Complexity can afford to be a little more aggressive here and know that they'll have a support ready to reset and secure the retreat if need be.
Ooh, he messed up his Searing Chains.
Yep.
Z-Freak's in trouble. He might have to ulti this.
He might have
He doesn't want to, but he's... Oh, man, he's barely alive. Really didn't want to Song that one.
20 HP. I mean, this time the gamble pays off. He doesn't go down. They don't quite have the damage.
Yeah, very good for him that he didn't waste it. I definitely agree that even if he died there, it was better to not use it because it's a 3-minute cooldown. For 1 kill, that's not worth it because it makes your hero so poor. And poor as in, like, your hero does nothing if you don't have Song because you put all these levels into Riptide and Ensnare, that's great, but he needs to be able to influence team fights in a major way, and he can't do that without his ult.
Yeah, it's one of those big ultimates, sort of similar to a Nyx Assassin Vendetta, where the threat of it being available is almost scarier than him actually using it. You know, him being off the map and knowing it's off cooldown forces you to play a little more cautiously, and same with that ult.
Exactly, because then Fnatic could just 5-man push with Sentry Wards or something like that, and now they have to continue playing defensive and wait for their opponents to go aggressive. But
Blink Dagger on Ohio, 15 minutes in.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible timing for
He's got 8 assists. He's been in every single team fight and killed this game.
Yep, and 45 CS on top of that.
What the heck? This guy is playing insane. I already knew he was one of the best offlaners in the world, but this game is ridiculous, actually.
Yeah, Ohio he's consistently been one of the best offlaners, like you said. I completely agree. I've seen so many games where he just makes these incredible plays. His positioning is just unbelievable.
So Klinks is moving back towards the aggressive jungle. Because they didn't get that tier 1 tower, they're in a decent position to go find them. Swindlemelon's looking for heroes with his illusion. He's actually not finding any neutral creeps here. Ziz, that is. He does have some bonus damage left from his ult, but he needs another creep. It's about to run out.
Yeah, Ziz will go for the Desolator build. He's picked up the recipe already, but still pretty far away from his mithril hammers. And how's Swindle doing here? Drum power treads. Okay, a little bit different. Going for some extra attack speed, extra stats. And
I think it's good. The extra mana is
next.
Definitely very, very needed. I feel like a lot of Embers are phasing away from the phase boots, actually. The phase is great for chasing, but you can already do that just by using Fire Remnants. Obviously, if you phase, I think it shoots out faster, maybe. But he's fine with treads. The treads is good, and it helps against the single target as well. Phase is really all about abusing Sleight of Fist. Treads is just good for overall damage versus one hero.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about how Ember is one of those carries that struggles in terms of mana pool, so having that extra bout of intelligence to swap to can be the make it or break it in those clutch moments. Checking in on Moonmeander here, he's now got the mech secured on his Dark Seer as well as just a casual cloak for now, so all that early farm is paid off. For one of Complexity's big teamfight items. I don't believe there's a mech on the Dire. Nope, not even started.
I wonder what the Naga Siren's going to build this game then, because a lot of Naga games we've been seeing either mech or medallion, but there's already a medallion on Klink, so I don't think he'll build one there. I wonder if he will just go for the greedy rush into Radiance, but his skill build doesn't look like that because he hasn't gotten a lot of mirror images, which increase your farming speed. So I'm interested to see. I'm really not sure what he'll grab. Maybe a pipe. He could go pipe, I guess.
I mean, maybe something like Vlad's to help out the team with auras.
You don't need that much physical resistance this game, and you could give lifesteal to Klinks and Ember Spirit, but I think it's better that he goes pipe if anything. But it's not a very good item for solutions.
Is going double Solar Crest not worth it? I mean, if he ends up going that, I mean, that's a really common item on Naga. Ziz will probably get one as well. He's already got that medallion.
They find Mushi. That's a 4-shot. Oh, he pops Yules. It's going to buy him a second, but
he's still going down.
He's still dead.
His teammates are inbound, though. Ohio does have an Echo Slam. We'll hold it for now. Complexity, they want to get aggressive here. They're ready to chase this down and see if they can find some more. Swindle will have a slight in 10 seconds. He'll just be
too hard.
Forced to go to the tower.
That cooldown is way too long there, and he didn't want to go aggressive. He does hit Ohio with some damage, but he's got Tranquils. Oh, Medallion comes through. 3-shot on Keswick, but he'll surely Grave. There's the Grave going down. Weaves will dunk on Ziz. He's in trouble. He gets blown up immediately there. Swindle trying to turn around to help out, but nope, not going to work out. And they just shouldn't have gone for that, I think. They were too much time looking at each other, and they were going to be ready for the initiation, and it did not work out.
Yep. They did get the Tier 1 tower, though. It was killed by the Radiant. If Moon was there, I think they could have done a dive like that because he's the mech carrier. But without your mech, that's a pretty risky play.
And he even mechs the creep wave, and himself, of course, to try to push the tower as much as possible. And like I said last game, it's one of the really good things that Complexity does is they pressure towers. Like, how often has the creep wave been top towards a Tier 2 tower? This means that now Phantom Lancer has to go here instead of potentially gank farming, like killing a hero and then pushing the wave out. It just splits up Fnatic and allows them to get those chances where they do go for kills.
Okay, so KYXY has his first Blade of Alacrity coming out. Curious if this is just a Yasha for some more farming, or if he'll go straight into that Diffusal Blade and look to get a little more combative here. PL doesn't really want to start fighting until he has both Diffusal and Manta. That's when you can pop in and burst somebody down.
You don't really need the Manta with the new PL. And the old PL, I would agree, but not so much. Ooh, fight.
Fly just gets blown up here in the Radiant jungle. The ultimate from Zeus. More than enough to finish him off. Moon nearby. He'll hide behind the tower here, and they may try to dive him.
He had a cloak there, but he still got blown up. And an Urn slots HP. Yeah, Moon's in trouble.
Oh, yeah, they find him. They're going to dive it. He gets down the wall of Replica. He'll do what little he can. Vacuum onto Ohio to make an illusion, but all by his lonesome. he will be taken out. So a 2-0 going in favor of Fnatic. But yeah, what was that about the PL?
Yeah, I don't think he needs Manta Cell to be useful. I think Diffusal Blade route, he is going Yasha first.
Okay.
But I think a full Manta first is a mistake. He can remove himself from Searing Change is one thing, but he can also prevent that with Doppelganger.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Manta is really the item build. If there was an Orchid on Clinks, you could go either Diffusal or Manta to remove that. So I'm not sure. I think Yasha into Diffusal Blade is pretty much the standard build to keep your farming speed big while still remaining relevant in team fights, and then afterwards he can decide if he wants to make the full Manta. I think that's the better build, personally.
Yeah, I agree, and that is definitely the most common. So time will tell. Medallion out on the Dazzle here, so that's 1 medallion apiece. Swindle did get the deny on that top tier 1 tower, and he is closing in on this Battle Fury. He's got Broadsword, Perseverance, and 700 gold, so not too far away. Dire side, how's the item progression there? It's a Yule's Scepter on Mushi since he picked up the Hand of Midas, and not too much else besides that Yasha we've talked about already.
The support's obviously really lacking some items because of the amount of sentries they've placed, but they've absolutely paid dividends. And, you know, Johnny's actually decently farmed. Arcane Boots, Full Wand, Sage's Mask. Kasek has a lot of early items. Medallion and Urn of Shadows, both
he seems
really
decently
solid.
farmed, but relative to the supports on Complexity, you've got Fly at 4.3k, and even this Naga at 3.3k net worth.
Yeah, that's the trade-off, basically. They spent all the Sentry Wards, they got Observer Ward Vision, and they've got Gold Advantage right now. It is an actual advantage. The downside is that they don't have a huge amount of carry potential. It's basically just Mushi, who's a Zeus and very vulnerable to the cores of Cole right now, and they've also got a PL who's going to take maybe another item before he gets online.
Oh, Echo Slammer on the backside, goes right on his Swindle,
Great
but
song.
Z-Freak, Song of the Siren to interrupt. Now Fly comes in. They'll set this up onto Ohio. Moon Meander does have a wall of replica, puts it down, Vacuum on 3. Ohio takes the Laguna Blade, but he's still alive. Compliments of Soul Rip. The Tombstones come down.
Swindle
Ohio now gets graved up.
Ooh,
the
dies.
ultimate from Zeus will do a lot of damage and secure the kill onto Swindle. They don't have their Clinks with him here, and he's a huge part of the take a fight like that without their Clinks inbound. Especially given that he has a Desolator now. Oh, my.
And he was just right on top of Johnny, so he took 20% amp damage, and the Zeus just cut right through him. He used Flame Guard, obviously, but it only did so much.
That's a nice little bit of synergy that we didn't talk about, but you're right, that Flesh Golem can really make this Zeus scary.
I believe Ziz was also not there for that fight, possibly without a TP scroll, so maybe a little bit presumptuous for Complexity to fight that, but at least they only lost 1 hero. They did use the song, though, so cooldown for another 2 minutes after that duration, and the gem is the early pickup for Z-Freak.
Fly, he'll get caught out down in the bottom lane. Fissure to get it started, and Ohio gives him the old totem to the face. Not much Fly could do there. Ends up being a 2-0 if you want to count that as one fight. 14-6. Fnatic winning in kills. You look at that, and it seems like they'd be winning this game handily, but Complexity still holding on to a very minor net worth lead, about to be a break even. So even though they haven't been killing or fighting as much, Complexity is still farming the map pretty effectively.
Now, Darkseer has picked up a hood, so I think that's one place where Complexity is going to be sitting a lot better is when they do get the pipe. When they have the pipe, 400 extra HP for every hero, because you're going to take Zeus damage, you're going to take 400 points. It doesn't matter if he's targeting you, you're going to take Zeus ult, and you're going to take that AoE. So if they do get the pipe off, and I think they will be able to, because they're going to have Song, they'll Song when the initiation starts, they'll pipe everybody up right before it ends, and then they will fight. And if they get that big HP advantage from a pipe, I think they'll be in an okay place. Because the Clink's hard counters a lot of Fnatic's heroes. Very good against Undying. Earthshaker's got a Ghost Scepter, though. He's super farmed. So I think Clink's may have to go Diffusal Blade afterwards to counter that. Maybe not the item he wanted to, but unfortunately his Desolator's late enough, and enemy heroes are doing well enough where it's necessary. God, actually Undying's really farmed. He's got almost a mech now. Very, very close.
Wow.
But
yeah, that last fight really helped him out.
Yeah, did a lot.
Yep. Also, the passive magic resistance from the pipe will help just in these team fights to negate some of the effects of the Flesh Golem and all that other magic damage. So it's a great